The Cheating Death podcast is a satirical program containing objective and transparent information about anything and everything under the sun. We are not political. We are not religious. We are merely analytical and perhaps a bit prodigious. Dear listener, you understand the nature of the beast and how it takes a bit of us each and every single day, as entropy and decay are the only constants in life. And this is why you are choosing to listen to the Cheating Death podcast. On today's episode of the Cheating Death podcast, we get into the CERN conspiracy, why it is such a divisive topic among those in whom are not directly affiliated with the research establishment itself, how and why it came to be, and the nature of its scientific experiments, and why there is currently a 4-year shutdown between the 30th of June 2026 and the 30th of June 2030. Is it because the Europeans are finally plotting their revenge, or is it simply because we are trying our best to further understand the specifics and aspects of the world of particle physics? Dear listeners, we also provide you with a brand new joke of the episode, a top 5 list of our current favorite grilled foods, an all-new Annihilation Announcement, and much, much more. So by now you know what to do, dear listener. Grab your iced coffee, put your feet up, and let us tell you how you can cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. Conspiracy theories are constantly abundant and abound in today's society because we are always looking for answers to questions that no one ever asks. We always provide ourselves with differences and points of contention beyond that of the normal realm of acceptability. We ask ourselves questions on each and every single potential available topic that we are able to identify. There is no reason that we provide ourselves with as much resistance as we do, other than the nature of the beast being able to provide us with a litany of examples of reasons as to how and why we can move forward. Give yourself an opportunity, dear listener, to see just exactly what you are capable of doing if given the choice and the opportunity to understand yourself a little bit more. If you reflect inward and see exactly what you are capable of doing, there is no end to what you are capable of achieving. We always stop ourselves just short of the goal whenever we are close to reaching a particular area or a particular goal in and of itself. Does that necessarily mean that we need to continue behaving in this manner? Absolutely not. It gives us an opportunity to see the world for what it is and see just exactly how capable we can be when the world gives us an opportunity to find our own path and reach our own goals. For you see, a world without suffering is a world without joy. A world without happiness is a world without sadness. There is always a balance to each and every single element of this life that we share. Do we ever find the perfect balance? No, it is impossible. There is absolutely no conceivable way in which any one human being on this planet can ever achieve perpetuity and perfect balance, but that is the nature of the beast. That is one of the reasons why we as a species do what we can to keep going and to try to keep fighting the battles within. And until we truly understand just how capable we are of achieving our goals, dear listener, we are going to continue running in circles, chasing our tails, and coming up with reasons as to why each example fails. Do not take yourself for granted. Do not take yourself as a passé objective observer. Do what you can to be active in your own world and in your own life. And we speak from this as an entity in whom does everything possible to understand the very nature of the universe, knowing full well I only have a finite time on this earth, in this vessel, to understand everything I can potentially understand and to assist who I am able to assist. But does that mean that you yourself should give yourself the space and time to enable your understanding to move forward? Yes, you absolutely should give yourself grace, space, and patience. And dear listener, wake up in the morning and remind yourself just how beautiful you are and how far you have come. This has been your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this has been your Annihilation Announcement. Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tag und eine gute Nacht. Ist eine Reisende und eine Ausländer, deine Allesfresser, deine Schauspieler, deine Vernichter. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, ich bin bereit, das aus der Frist eines euch gemacht. Und ist da mein Herz brennt, ist das Asteas gebrochen. Und heute ist ein schöner Tag. For today, dear listeners, we are diving into the origins, the nature, the dynamics of the CERN facility. Yes, that CERN facility, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely facility otherwise known as the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the European Laboratory for Particle Physics. We are taking a moment today to dive into its origins, its histories, and the conspiracy theories that surround the very nature and the very element of the research taking place within the confines of this facility. To begin, dear listeners, we must provide you with the introduction that CERN is absolutely older than you think. The very nature of the European Organization for Nuclear Research, main site in Meiringen, Switzerland, looking towards the French border, has long since been established since its beginning on the 29th of September, 1954. Note, dear listeners, that CERN in and of itself is not necessarily relegated or located specifically to one particular country or region. No, for you see, CERN has approximately 25 full nation members and 11 associate members, which essentially means that 11 member states participate in research from time to time on an as-need basis for the specific purposes of their own development of particle and quantum physics. It is noted that of the 25 member states within CERN itself, it is to be noted that these countries include Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Israel, Italy, Netherlands, the Norway country itself, the beautiful pulchritudinous Poland, the positive Portugal, the radiant Romania, the sweet Serbia, the sensitive Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. Note, dear listener, that the associate members in whom participate in part-time research at the facility include Pakistan, Latvia, Lithuania, Turkey, Ukraine, Ireland, India, Croatia, Cyprus, Chile, and Brazil. The official languages at the facility spoken are both English and French. So, regardless of which country you come to do research from, it is suggested that you are fluent in both languages, as many of their direct personnel are. Now, the formation on the 29th of September 1954 was for a litany of reasons, was ultimately to identify specifically the particle accelerator research and anything involving high-frequency particle physics research itself. Within the dynamics, within the main facility over in Myron, Switzerland, has an absolutely gargantuan and giant facility that would make most data centers cry in shame and fear. For you see, the primary purpose of CERN is to provide implementation and research into the world of both particle and quantum physics on a micro level. When we take into account just how small an atom is, this is something that CERN analyzes each and every single day and utilizes these atoms to smash into each other to create different reactions, different results, different opportunities within the chemical formulation for it to be created and mandated in such a way that people are able to see exactly what the differences in the research are, and seeing how different experiments can lead to different results. A fun bit of fact, dear listeners, did you know that CERN is also responsible for the birth of the World Wide Web? Yes, this is very true, otherwise known as specific rules of the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. The World Wide Web was officially started in 1989 on the 6th of August. So when we take a look at the overall general range and form, the year in 1989, the official beginning, and the first publishing date on the 6th of August 1991, the organizations involved directly from 1989 to 1994 was indeed CERN, and now, from 1994 onwards, is responsible for the World Wide Web, is officially known as the World Wide Web Consortium, or the W3C. But we are not here to discuss the internet today, ladies and gentlemen, as we are all well aware of the beauty and the benevolence and the malevolence it provides. But specifically the Large Hadron Collider, which is the largest, highest energy particle accelerator known to man, and between 1998 and 2008, in collaboration with thousands of scientists and dozens of universities and educational institutions, the Large Hadron Collider now reaches a circumference of 26,659 meters, or 16.565 miles. Understand that that is absolutely massive, and for the residents of Geneva, Switzerland, it is an absolute beauty of machine and progress. Note that the first collisions of the Large Hadron Collider took place in 2010, and the discovery of the Higgs boson particle was announced in 2012. Note that directly after this particular time, the Large Hadron Collider was shut down for 2 years between 2013 and 2015 to undergo systemic maintenance upgrades as well as further research. However, there are conspiracy theories abound that state that the reason for the shutdown between 2013 and 2015 was that the discovery of the God particle had scared them to such a degree that they did not know what to do. So they ultimately had to make the decision to shut it down temporarily while they configured exactly how to move forward. The conspiracy theories surrounding the CERN Large Hadron Collider are that our timeline shifted in 2012 after the smashing of several particles in succession, and that CERN itself has put us into a different dimension, a different timeline, a different reality, a different equation altogether, to which it explains fully and completely the calamities and the issues and the circumstances that we as human beings now face. These, of course, are nothing more than conspiracy theories that may indeed have some grain of truth to them, but where that grain of truth lies is entirely subjective to the individual in whom is observing the particular slit experiment within the confines of the actual machine itself. A good old nuclear physicist joke. Never one to not make a physics joke. Absolutely fun while in motion. But we understand, dear listeners, that over the course of time, CERN has been instrumental in ensuring that both the evolution of physical and particle physical science has been tantamount to the development of how we view our world itself, how even the forefathers of physics, your Einsteins, your Teslas, your Edisons, if you want to include him, are absolutely in astonishment at what the capabilities of this particular entity would be, as they had predicted an entity of this hundreds of years ago, going all the way back to the times of yesteryear. But how CERN operates and how the world continues to treat it is nothing less than amazing, that so many countries and so many member states can work together towards one particular goal. And if it shows us anything, it means that we are capable of working together. So why not work together as a people, unite, and find a purpose within each and every single soul? Find yourself at the beginning of the road of identifying exactly what it takes to get you to be as understanding and as capable of working with other people as these have chosen to be. For if we have any hope to get to a Kardashev Type 1 or a Kardashev Type 2 civilization, we must move forward, unite, and work together as a species. But I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Until next time, dear listeners, thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other. At the top of today's episode, we promised you yet another top 5 list, and this time is of our current 5 best favorite grilled foods. Without further ado, let us dive right into the fire. Coming in at number 5, we have grilled garlic and butter asparagus. Coming in at number 4, we of course have chicken and beef skewers. Coming in at number 3, we have hamburgers and hot dogs. Coming in at number 2, we have delicious smoked salmon. And coming in at number 1, we of course have the New York strip loin steak. What are your top 5 favorite barbecuable or grillable items? Feel free to comment beneath the video below or reach out to us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. Today's joke has been brought to you by the Cleric of Chaos. Upon visiting to Zurich, Switzerland, it was posited to our group that perhaps we should go visit the CERN facility, at which point the tour guide was asking the majority of individuals who would like to go see the CERN Super Collider. As each and every single one of us looked around cautiously optimistic, one adventurous tourist raised their hand and stated specifically, "Super Collider? Sir, I don't even know her." The very nature of the CERN conspiracy is affronted by those in whom choose to utilize its various means, its technical capabilities as a form of ominous presence. We look to the sky and ask ourselves for answers where there may not necessarily be any in these particular situations, when we ask ourselves what more can we do to examine the CERN Super Collider and each and every single associate, individual, management representative, or director of the program. There are many questions that one could ask these individuals, and of course, if the purpose of the CERN Super Collider is that of a lamentation and a very evil sort of scenario, we must look towards the sky and ask once more exactly what the nature and purpose is. However, if you find yourself in a position where you are a deep enthusiast and or researcher of the CERN project, you will understand that over the course of the years, they have been responsible for locating some of the most important bits of information of the modern era. In 2012, as we had discussed previously through the episode, they had found one of the most important particles in the known universe, and to a certain degree, the nature of their very work still remains fairly covert to this day, unless you know an individual in whom works there and is willing to violate their non-disclosure agreement. We must take almost everything about this project with a significant grain of salt. We ask ourselves, why is this particular type of project even allowed to exist? A giant, robust structure whose only purpose seemingly is to smash particles together at higher and higher speeds, accelerating faster and faster with each experiment. It is also to be noted, dear listener, that there are significant differences of opinion as to how and why CERN is able to operate how they do, how the European Union gives them carte blanche over research projects and does not interfere with the research that takes place at this facility. There are many questions that one can ask themselves as it pertains to the reason and the nature that the CERN Super Collider exists for. Is it benevolent in nature? Is it scientific specifically? Or are there ulterior motives that we had discussed earlier within the program? For now, we do not have any international authorities coming out and speaking out against the program. We do not have any entities or individuals in whom choose to err on the side of opposition with respect to this project that are not civilians or concerned citizens in nature. One must ask themselves, when placed into a position when working with the CERN Super Collider, and you are given an opportunity to see just exactly what it is capable of, do you take that information and keep it to yourself, or do you do the human thing and inform those around you? The Edward Snowdens of the world, in addition to touching on the basis and the reasoning behind the NSA, has also touched on the reason and the nature for the CERN Super Collider, but there are also thousands upon thousands of opinions, and our goal throughout this program was to provide you with the most direct, transparent, and clear information. And the truth is that CERN is a scientific entity to which has not been seen before and will more than likely never be seen again to that grand scale within our lifetimes. Dear listener, take some time and look into the project yourself and see exactly what it is that dwells within the realms of curiosity. Until next time, dear listener, thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other. The Cheating Death Podcast is brought to you by Nach dem Leben CRDVC, Cleric of Chaos, where you can find all podcasts on all platforms. If you'd like to support the program, you may do so by buying some merchandise, buying a cameo, buying us a coffee, or more links in the episodes and podcast description. We would like to thank Julian and Major Chip for their generous donations to the program. It is gratefully appreciated, and your camaraderie and friendship, it will never be taken for a grain of lovely iced coffee that we all enjoy. If you'd like to support and follow the program, please follow all of the Cleric of Chaos's social media, as well as different platforms in which the podcast is on. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and tell your friends as well. Please be sure to follow each and every single one of our comedian, actor, singer, musician, artist, industrialist extraordinaire friends, all listed in the links and in the episodes of the podcast description as well. Be sure to tell them hello. If you or anyone you know is experiencing gambling, abuse, substance withdrawal, or any emergency calamity, please consult the telephone numbers listed in the section of the podcast and episodes description as well. And Of course, dear listeners, if you or anyone you know are looking at adopting a playful puppy or a cute kitten, please visit your local animal adoption rescue center as they are in dire need of your support. And visit yummypets.com/voice. Sign up for a free account and click the button every day to give shelter animals an opportunity to receive free food in the amount of £330 every month. If you find yourself in a position where you are questioning your worth, questioning your progress and your path, you are doing the right thing. The only thing that you must avoid is taking that and utilizing it as a form of destruction towards your existence. There are no easy answers to life, dear listeners, and we know that it can be difficult, but do not ever fear, and do not surrender before the Reaper comes for you. And remember, we're pulling for you. We're all in this together.